You know, my opponent likes to talk a lot about being a businessman, but I think what New Jersey doesn't know is much about his business, how he made his millions, by working with some of the worst offenders and saying that opioids were safe, putting out propaganda, publishing their propaganda, while tens of thousands of New Jerseyans died. And as if that wasn't enough, then he was paid to develop an app so that people who were addicted could more easily get access to opioids. And so as he made millions, as these opioid companies made billions, tens of thousands of New Jerseyans died.
Mr. Ciattarelli.
First of all, shame on you. Second of all,
shame on you, sir.
Shame on you. During the Biden administration, she had no problem whatsoever with tens of thousands of people crashing our border each and every day, not knowing what impact they had in our communities with regard to fentanyl crisis, fentanyl abuse, fentanyl distribution, vaccination rates and the like. Talk to your local police, talk to your county prosecutors in New Jersey. Since the border's been secured, fentanyl crisis has decreased significantly. She supported those open border policies. But with regard to everything she just said about my professional career, which provided my family, it's a lie. I'm proud of my career.
You get 30 seconds.
I'm happy to publish the information. And here are the
sure
facts. I work because I think our kids deserve better. I think the people you got addicted and died deserve better than you. And I'll tell you, tens of thousands here, as you published misinformation, as you got more people addicted, as you worked to develop, got paid to develop an app so that more people could get more opioids and die.
I got to walk at my college graduation.
New Jersey voters will decide on their next governor in a few weeks. Voter registration is up 11% for Republicans in New Jersey compared to 4 years ago. And Democrats are down 2%. Steve is at Vegas Diner in New Jersey with early vote action founder Scott Presler, who is speaking at Republican candidate Jack Ciattarelli's rally tonight in Wildwood. Over to you, Steve.
All right, LJ. Thank you very much. Okay. All right. Sit down. Let's talk to Scott Presler right here. Scott, you are pretty much a professional get-out-the-vote person. Last time you were in, for the big election in 2024, you were in
Pennsylvania.
And you won.
Yes.
You have moved to New Jersey. Why?
I am here for one reason. I believe that New Jersey is winnable. We are here to save the state, and we are here to elect Jack Ciattarelli as the next governor on Tuesday, November 4th.
He's good. By the way, we're here at Vegas Diner in Wildwood because tonight Jack Ciattarelli's got a big rally in the area.
Yes.
You know, I just moved out of New Jersey. We lived here for 30 years, but so I know the issues. And the big one is, the big thing you hate about Jersey is the taxes. The property taxes suck.
Yes. That's the number one issue I hear. This is going to come down to the economy. And with Jack, he's going to lower the property taxes, cap the property taxes. And also, how about those electricity prices? We need to bring those down, too.
Scott, in the last couple of months, electricity prices, utility prices have gone through the roof. Why is that?
Well, that's because Trenton Democrats want to rely on things like solar and wind, whereas we need an all-of-the-above approach to energy. We need to make sure that we're utilizing everything across the Garden State, and that's going to make life affordable for New Jersey families.
Okay, so the key here in New Jersey, you look back, it wasn't that long ago, Chris Christie, a Republican, was the governor, and now we've got a Democrat here in New Jersey, Mr. Murphy. This state has gone back and forth. Why are you confident that you have registered enough voters to win this time?
Well, let's go over the data. In 2021, that election was decided by 84,000 votes. Even 4 years ago, it was narrow. New Jersey went from a state that went double digits for Joe Biden to 5 percentage points from Donald Trump winning the Garden State, New Jersey. And I think we can win this November.
Well, that would tell folks a lot about what's going to happen next year in the midterms, because they say the way New Jersey and Virginia go, the midterms are going to go.
I think energy begets energy, momentum begets momentum. And if people want to protect the House of Representatives next year, that means that we need big, beautiful turnout this year. And I ask everybody, I ask for your vote for Jack Ciattarelli for governor on Tuesday, November 4th, 2025.
And real quickly, Scott, how many people have you registered to vote?
Oh my gosh, tens of thousands of voters. And we're not done because the last day to register to vote is October 14th, Charlie Kirk's birthday. Go to nj.gov, and you register to vote today.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Scott Presler. Thank you very much, Scott.
After weeks of personal attacks at campaign events, New Jersey's gubernatorial candidates traded barbs in person in their final debate before Election Day. Correspondent Brian Yennes takes a look at the top issues discussed and some of the more tense moments.
First of all, shame on you. Second of all,
Shame on you, sir.
shame on you.
A heated final debate in New Jersey's governor's race after Democratic nominee Congresswoman Mikie Sherrill accused Republican nominee Jack Ciattarelli of killing New Jerseyans.
And
Sir,
I'm
you'll
so
get 15
glad
seconds.
that you then went on to kill tens of thousands of people in New Jersey, including children.
Ciattarelli once owned a multi-million-dollar medical publishing company that printed educational materials. Sherrill says Ciattarelli printed propaganda that downplayed the risks of opioid misuse. He says it's a lie.
During the Biden administration, she had no problem whatsoever with tens of thousands of people crashing our border each and every day, not knowing what impact they had in our communities with regard to fentanyl.
Sherrill is ahead of Ciattarelli by 8 points, according to Fox News polling, but Republicans insist the race is neck and neck. Democrats tell Axios they are worried, saying Sherrill is too scripted, and they are concerned she hasn't focused enough on the top issue for voters, the high cost of living in New Jersey. Many of Sherrill's attacks are focused on President Trump's endorsement of her opponent. Once critical of Trump, Ciattarelli is now unapologetically running a pro-Trump campaign in a traditionally blue state.
Right now, I'd certainly give the president an A. I think he's right about everything that he's doing.
Amazing. I think that tells us all we need to know about who Jack Ciattarelli is supporting. I'd give him an F.
Ciattarelli is hoping to turn New Jersey red for the first time since 2013. To do so, he'll need to win over independent voters and get enthusiastic turnout from Trump supporters. New Jersey shifted 10 points towards Trump in the 2024 election, the second largest swing towards the president nationwide. Brett?
All right, Brian, thank you.
New Jersey gubernatorial candidate Jack Ciattarelli and Congresswoman Mikie Sherrill squaring off in their last debate before the election focuses mainly on high cost and public safety.
On day one, I'm declaring a state of emergency on energy prices, freezing rate hikes. I'm going to take on the PBMs. Those are those middlemen that can drive up drug prices up to 10 times, driving down your health care costs. And I'm going to ensure that I'm taking on those landlords that are colluding to drive up your rental prices.
My opponent has put forth an illegitimate plan that isn't feasible. Even the governor, a member of her own party, has said that I don't really think you can do that. There are 77 incumbent Democratic legislators, 52 of which are on the ballot this year, and not one has endorsed her plan to get electricity rates down on day one.
Wow. Let's bring in our New Jersey voter panel, Republican Alexandria and Angela, along with Democrats Chris and Stephanie. Thank y'all so much for joining the program today. All right, it's just with a show of hands. Who thinks Ciattarelli won the debate versus Sherrill? Okay, Ciattarelli, and then let's go with Sherrill. Okay, so let's go to some of the issues right here. When it comes to public safety, let's get their response on that, and then I'll get your reaction. Let's watch it.
The Congresswoman has been anything but strong when it comes to public safety. In Congress, she voted to get rid of qualified immunity. This is the bedrock of protection for local law enforcement. She's given some kind of weird endorsement of Mondami. Mondami has endorsed her. I called on her to renounce that endorsement. Josh Shapiro, the Democratic governor of Pennsylvania, has denounced Mondami, as has the congressman in the north. And this is somebody who's been also anti-police. We want our community safe. We need a governor, an attorney general, 21 county prosecutors, and a superintendent of state police who will keep our community safe.
Alexandra, what did you make of that moment?
Well, I mean, I'm a mom of 3, and I definitely support law enforcement. I think it's incredibly important. I think the most important thing is our family safety, and getting rid of New Jersey, a sanctuary state, is extremely important. And I support a governor who is going to go after that.
Chris, what about you?
As far as talking about a sanctuary state, I think we still need it. I think the law has to work for the citizens and not just the government. As far as we have to protect us as well. So we need the sanctuary cities and make sure the officers are abiding by the law and not breaking any amendments.
Angela, what about the illegals that are within the country right now? I hear a lot of residents that they believe there should be some pathway to citizenship for some, but the people that broke the law, and especially the criminal aliens here, they believe that the president is doing the right thing. How does that impact this race?
I think that's an important issue in this race. We have over 9.8 million residents in New Jersey. We are one of the most diverse states in the country. And I think Jack Ciattarelli hit the points last night when he said there has to be a pathway to recognition, but it doesn't mean that everybody who's committing illegal acts gets to stay. People who are committing crimes have to go back. People who are not documented can't stay in our state.
Stephanie, what do you make of that exchange that took place?
I think that the idea of recognition doesn't really track. I think that it doesn't, like Mikie Sherrill had said during the debate, it's not really a status. It's more of just a statement about people who are living here. If you're a citizen, you should be a citizen. If you're not a citizen, something needs to be figured out. But just saying you're recognized doesn't make sense. These are people who pay taxes, who work, whether they're legally here or not. If they're working here, they're paying taxes here. So to me, there should be something more than recognition.
All right, let's go to another exchange. This is something that's become quite contentious. It's about deploying the National Guard. Let's hear it.
Military members should not be on our streets. It makes people less safe. It makes people feel less safe. So I have to say, when you look at this across the country, and when you look at the threats, and then you see the president saying when he was with Hegseth recently that he's going to use our U.S. cities as training grounds for our military, that is unacceptable. I will not stand for that as governor.
My opponent has not said a word about getting rid of sanctuary cities, the Immigrant Trust Directive. She's not said a word about reforming bail reform. Yet cops will tell you all the time that this is one of the things getting in the way of keeping our communities safe. We will be a law and order state again, and there will be a consequence for unruly, unlawful behavior.
So, Chris, what about that? It does seem like a lot of our cities are out of control, and the message of defund the police and all that is not attractive to a lot of voters. What about you?
It's not really about defunding the police. It's about it teaching new ways and maybe redoing the institution of the police. So basically, like I said, make law enforcement work for us. We are the citizens. We actually live in the societies. We live in the cities. Being the kid that was raised in the city, I was raised in Elizabeth. I'm from Roselle, so being raised in those type of cities where they have issues of crime and sometimes drugs, we have to actually have the police actually be out there knowing who we have.
I'll end with you, Angela. Where do you fall on this issue?
Bail reform is a huge issue in New Jersey. There's been a lot of debate back and forth over it, and I think it's time to address it. We need law enforcement to be able to do their job. We need them to go out and keep our streets safe. And unless we deal with bail reform, we're not going to have that.
Real quickly before we go, after watching the debate, did it change any of your minds? If it did change your mind watching the debate, raise your hand. So it had no impact. No. All right. We appreciate y'all so much for joining the program this morning.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, sir.